Okay, so you don't have to imagine, I put the tape on here to show you exactly what I'm trying to do. Okay, so when I clamp the knife, and I marked it here at roughly the center of the blade, and with my general clamping method, what I look to do is I look to put that center point and to clamp the knife such that it's as high in the vise as I can. More about that in a minute. And with that line parallel to the jawline. And that is where I would look to start the knife. That blue line of tape you can see is parallel to the jawline. And I've tried to, in a generalized fashion, I tried to balance that blade across the length and that clamping point by taking in the extremes. Whatever I reach here, you can use your stone, how your stone touches the knife, and come over out to the other end and see where your stone touches your knife. And you want it to be at roughly the same position on the stone. This one resting on this stone stop, right now it's even. Coming out here, I'm just slightly below it. I mean within 1/8 of an inch, and that was just with the eyeballing. That's because I have that experience with the even. That's the clamping method. I look to balance my ability to work on it so I can work as effectively here as I can there. That is the sweet spot and the balance and the height, all that. Now the test is that what we did with here, where we put the marker on here and we're going to obliterate the marker, and that's the physical feedback that we can see where our stones do indeed contact the blade. Let me see what this is. This is a 2200. I'm going to go to a 3000 stone because I'm not trying to sharpen. I'm only trying to obliterate the marker. And I'm working it as though I were sharpening, scrubbing. I'm going across the apex, the bevel, at 20 degrees that I decided to work with as my marking angle. Why did I decide that? Because it's wide enough out, and it's wide enough out that it's leaning on the bevel, but it's close enough. It's not too close to it that I'm not trying to get against the vise. I'm trying to lean on the bevel, but not lay on top of it. I'm trying to lean against the side of the bevel. And I'm going to come over here and scrub a little more and take that out of the way. Let me see what it looks like. Okay, let me show you where we're at. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I'm coming to the heel where I like to start. I have to try to keep the image vertical so that it makes sense to you. And just because that 20 degrees match right up with the bevel of this new knife. I've only used it a little bit in the kitchen, but 20 degrees happens to be how this knife is clamped. Matches, obliterates the marker right over the top of the bevel. Here it's a little bit, you can see a little blue at the very apex, which means that if you worked it a little longer, you would get it right. But this is not the profiling. This is just for finding the sweet spot. But finding the sweet spot our 20-degree angle is matching pretty good. Now as I get out to the tip, working forward, looking at this up to the shoulder, I can see there is more blue remaining evident at the apex top of the bevel than there was further back. More blue is present here. And now as we get out to the tip, you can see how much more blue ink. I'm backing up now towards the heel. See how much blue there is? And as we get further forward, you can see how much more blue is. I am following the curve of the knife down. The marker curves with the paint, it's painted on the knife and curves, but the stonework remains flat and parallel to that blue piece of tape. That goes straight across the knife. That stonework goes straight, and it's the tip that falls out underneath it. And the tip is what curves away underneath that stone contact. That stone contact is where we're trying to clamp that knife at. See how the stone contact changed here? That stone contact that I'm trying to show you is flat across, and you can see how much blue is above it now. And it's up to us to try to find that balancing point, heel to tip, to take that line that goes all the way off the tip and utilize it best. I'm going to stop here.